So after more than 4 weeks of testimony, jurors could begin deliberating on this sham Trump hush money trial as soon as next week to decide whether the former president is guilty of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Trump's lawyers rested their defense today without him taking the witness stand, moving the case closer to the moment the jury would begin deciding his fate. After the defense rested, Judge Juan Merchan told jurors the court session could run late next Tuesday to accommodate both prosecution and defense summations. Last time the jury will hear from either side. So for the first time in American history, we could see a former president of the United States face a conviction, a felony conviction, which, if we go by what the fake Don Juan Merchan, his actions have indicated and expressed, could result in perhaps actual jail time. So it begs the question, what do we think is going to happen? Is he going to get off, or is he going to actually be convicted? Now, this case has been one of the most quixotic, convoluted, strange, bizarre, over the top. It sometimes felt like it was an SNL skit. When you base your entire case, I'm talking about the prosecution here, Alvin Do Nothing Bragg, on a witness who not only is a convicted felon for lying to Congress, he's a convicted liar. He's a convicted serial perjurer. It's bad enough that that's your star witness, but then when your star witness gets caught in this actual trial, in lie after lie after lie, admitting then on top of all of that, that he stole money from the Trump organization, admitting on top of all of that, that he has a personal financial stake in the outcome of this case. When that is your entire case, and you've got a judge who is supposed to be a legal expert, he's on the freaking bench, for crying out loud. He's supposed to have qualifications, legal acumen, doesn't go for a mistrial, doesn't completely dismiss all charges based on just that alone. It just boggles the mind. It completely boggles the mind. And it begs the question, and I'm not the only one, if legal expert after legal expert, legal scholar after legal scholar, law professor after law professor have come out in droves saying that this case has no merit. There's no grounds here. He didn't do anything wrong. There's no crime. There's no victim. There's no tying him to anything related to this hush money payment. What are we left to believe here? Why is this case even moving forward? Why is this trial even moving forward? You know what I'm going to get in the comments? I'm going to get people saying, oh my goodness, Nez, you're not going that direction, are you? But I am. I think this is a complete, sad to admit this because I love my country dearly with all my heart. I bleed red, white, and blue. This is a political witch hunt. This is the weaponization of the Department of Justice. This is the biggest slight on the New York criminal justice system. And I don't think there's any coming back from this. I think they have severed and decimated any inkling of trust the American public, citizens of New York City, have had in the criminal justice system. I think it would be a grave disservice if we didn't look. And this is all based on facts, all based on evidence, all based on the grounds that this is their whole entire case, is Michael Cohen. I don't know how else to look at it. I really don't know how else to look at it. Trump attorney Todd Blanche did an amazing job of completely dismantling Michael Cohen, decimating him. Now, when you go on some of these left-leaning, radical woke broadcast stations like CNN, etc., MSNBC, for some reason, again, and this adds to the oddity, the Twilight Zone-esqueness of this case, they say that the fact that he's a liar makes him more credible, if you can believe that. How else could you look at this? How else could you look at this as anything other than a blatant attack and impediment, a blockade, if you will, that they want to throw in front of the former President Trump. So having said all that, I think it's 100% guaranteed there's going to be a conviction. Again, but the caveat is not based on anything that was submitted in court, not based on any evidence, any testimony, any substance submitted in court, based on the very fact that you've got a judge, you've got a district attorney, you've got a criminal justice system that has been completely weaponized. I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think? Do you think that he'll get off? Do you think he'll walk? Do you think he'll be convicted? I would love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. You see, we talk a lot about Aristotle's principles of rhetoric here on this channel. Ethos, pathos, logos, audience, purpose, message, which really just amounts to one thing. Words have power. Having an awareness of the language choices you make gives you power. Understanding critical thinking and critical discernment means nobody can ever pull the wool over your eyes. You won't just nod your head and go, oh yes, Rachel, mad cow disease. Yeah, she's telling the truth. Or pick anybody, right? Vice versa. Words have power. And to attribute to the former president an added title of convicted felon, they are going to milk that. When I say they, I mean the radical woke mob mafia. They're going to over abuse that term and phrase until the cows come home. They are going to never stop using that. Every article, every interview, every mention in a segment, every political ad, every debate, anytime anything comes up about the election, about campaigning, they're never, ever going to refer to him as President Donald Trump. They're going to refer to him as convicted felon President Trump. And words have power. And sadly, you're going to get a large contingency of people who are going to be really impacted by that phrase, convicted felon. They want to see him in handcuffs just so they can put that in their political ads. They want to see him convicted so they can use that moniker until the election. And they will. They're going to hammer convicted felon over and over and over again until you and I are sick and tired, until the very mention of that phrase gives us a physical reaction. And I don't mean a positive one. Words have power. That is the only reason this case, in my estimation, came to fruition when this supposed affair happened 20 years ago, when the supposed payment, the alleged payment, happened 8 years ago. But the timing of this charge during an election season, the most consequential election of probably our lives, the stakes couldn't be higher. The timing of this was all strategic. It was all planned. And again, the ability to plaster that title on everything related to the former President Trump, sadly, it's going to have an impact. It's going to influence a lot of voters. And who knows? It might influence a lot of voters who are primarily on the fence. I think right now, the staunch supporters of either candidate are not going to be too swayed by anything that happens in the next 6 months, unless something, miraculous happens. Never say never. I mean, we never know what could happen. It's an election season. Life is weird. Life is strange. These things, take on a life of their own. We never know what's going to happen. But barring anything like that, an act of God, some kind of really abrupt, immense miracle, most of the supporters have already made their decision. If the election happened today, they'd already vote for who they wanted to vote for with confidence. But it's the fence sitters. It's the wishy-washers. It's the I'm not sure. As if you couldn't be sure at this point in time. It's the independents. Well, I don't know. Well, he isn't a convicted felon. I don't know. Can I actually vote for it? Can I actually look my kids in the face and vote for a convicted felon? No matter how absolutely, completely abominable and ridiculous and circus sideshow this case is, the fact that convicted felon is going to haunt the Trump legacy for the rest of his life, that it's actually going to be on the record, nobody's going to care about the case after the fact. Nobody's going to even remember the case after the fact. But convicted felon is ironclad. It's permanent. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that there's some molecule of logic and sense and some kind of common sense that will arise in the jurors' minds. But the way that this was architected, it just feels like it's going to be a conviction for the very reason that I mentioned. I would love to hear from you. I throw this off to you, Nez Nation. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen? Give me your prediction in the comments down below. As always, I try really, really hard to respond to all the comments, but it's literally physically impossible for me. So consider becoming a member. Super chats and super thanks. You get top priority as well as a ton of other perks. You get access to our members-only Discord, live stream giveaways, whole bunch of stuff. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment, description, and show notes. Also, subscribe to our free newsletter. It's free. Absolutely free, so you never miss out, right to your inbox. I'll put that in the pinned comment, description, and show notes. Check out these videos coming out today. We did this live stream right now today. Check that out. It was amazing. As always, God bless you, Nez Nation, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.